time to get into the junk in the trunk with Mike Stahulak. But before we get to that, we're going to hit you with the rapid fire question speed dating thing that we did last episode with Mr. B, because that was super fun.
All right, bring it on.
Let's get to know Mike. Sean, do you got one?
Just off the top, your favorite hole in J-Town.
And if you don't say your wife, you're in trouble.
Oh!
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Nice question. Favorite
Green
hole in
grapes?
J-Town. All right.
Green grapes or red grapes?
No, give us a real answer, please, first.
For that, red grapes.
Okay.
First. It's kind of purple. I don't know.
Cotton
what you
candy
call 'em, but
grapes.
Oh, those are
That actually is a good question.
Had some
Good
today.
answer. Favorite hole. Man, I think I'm going to have to go with on the new course, prison course, hole 4, which is the par 4, tunnel shot, and then up to the right.
Oh, yeah.
Huge hill.
Yeah.
There is just such a unique hole.
That is one of the only ones I have not seen.
It really, it's such a tough hole. Very unique.
The super
it's like
incline.
sloped
Yes.
the
yes.
entire
Yes.
way
Got
on
it.
the fairway there.
Yep.
Definitely one of my favorite holes. Other than that, I'd probably say hole 4 Highland. Just iconical.
He likes the number 4, folks.
Mhm.
Hole 4 Delwood.
you
Let's
heard
go.
it here.
An album from your like earliest years of like one of the first albums that you loved from top to bottom.
Blink 182, Enema of the State.
Fuck you.
Dude, for sure.
Dang.
It's a good one. It was my first concert too. Blink 182 and Green Day at the World back in the day.
Whoa.
Oh,
Incredible.
Amazing.
That's the
We
right
said Blink
answer.
182 and who?
Green Day.
Green Day?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
You ever heard of them?
I have.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Enema of the State I was 21 when that album came out, and I felt like it was written for me. That was just
So
It
good.
was
Mhm.
like
Front to back.
Oh,
perfect.
Your name's
God.
in the credits.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
it is.
Or Jason?
Mike, what risks are worth taking?
What risks aren't worth taking?
Oh,
Great answer. Shit, I thought
cued
we'd get
and
all-
aid.
I thought we'd get all deep, and he just pulled out a pickleball
Yeah.
pallet. What are those things called?
hit it right back to you.
Paddle.
Pallet.
Paddle.
Paddle.
Yeah.
Stop thinking pallet.
A pallet would be very hard to
A
swim.
pickleball pallet. Pickleball paddle. And knocked it right back at me.
Ryan, are you abstaining?
Why does Jason have more than one? What is this?
There's no order. Just
Yeah.
He has
You wanna
100
get
that
it
he's
out
looking
the
through
fire.
right
Yeah.
Stahulak, country of origin.
now. Czech Republic. I think.
all right.
Question?
I could just be making that up, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Check.
No one's gonna check on that answer.
Hey.
No.
Hey. We'll be right back.
If your life was a book, what would the title be?
Oh, wow, man. That is a...
What risks aren't worth taking?
yeah. What risks aren't worth taking?
Son of a bitch. Why is that the perfect answer to everything?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Stahulak, the dog's out.
stumped
Mike
me right
Stahulak,
That's the
colon.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
I don't know.
good, yeah.
You stumped me with that one.
All
there
right.
you go. You were trying to find one that would stump me.
An exotic animal that you would have as a pet.
Monitor lizard.
Okay.
For the non-lizard nerds, what does that mean? Why
It's
is
like-
that cool?
And it's just a huge lizard. I think it'd be really cool. I had a bearded dragon before. Really like them. Very social animals, reptiles. But yeah, just a huge one I could feed whole chickens to and just watch it shred it
Sick.
apart. Yeah. Cool.
I saw on Instagram earlier today that a perfectly preserved dinosaur egg with an embryo inside has been found.
Saw that.
Oh, I've seen that
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, I don't know where, but all the comments were basically like, yeah, at this point we're just doing Jurassic Park,
It's,
right?
it's the bad flute version
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
song, though.
Yeah. I love that idea of like, we found it. We can now
Mhm.
figure out what
They were
look
so
like.
busy trying to figure out if they could.
Mm-hmm.
No one stopped to think if they should.
If they should.
It's true.
They've also, they
Mhm.
have
Whoever
also,
they are.
They, them.
they are
Mhm.
damn sure that we have found some sort of life on another planet. 99.85% sure.
Whoa.
Oh, that one planet that's like 12 light years away or something.
Yeah,
like
whatever
that.
it is. Yeah, they
It's
have
really not that
found
far
like
away.
the traces of some minerals and whatever that could have only existed because of life. So,
It's unbelievable.
yeah.
I love it.
My
So
God.
there you go.
One Instagram account that everyone should follow.
Jason's foot account.
Oh,
totally.
That's good.
Totally.
Let's go.
That's
Nice.
perfect.
Good
Yeah,
answer.
you're quick on
You're
that.
kinda crushing
That's
this.
good. Yeah.
All right, one more. Who's got one more?
Favorite movie of all time.
Love Happy Gilmore.
Good answer.
What
Good
is
answer.
your feeling about the sequel?
I want to say I'm going to like it,
Right.
but I don't know. I feel like it's going to be forced.
We all just
It's
kind
such
of
a
know, right?
it's such a perfect
Yeah.
movie as is, and
Yeah.
I don't know how you follow that up, especially years later.
Yeah.
I feel like it'll have its moments, but it's just going to be very forced.
Is there a
Hopefully
movie
that's
that
wrong.
they did a sequel to way later that you were like, you know what? That was good. They nailed it.
A late sequel movie?
Yeah.
I thought Coming to America was actually pretty good. The original is like one of my all-time favorites. And when I heard they were doing a sequel, I was like, you guys better do this right. And
Mhm.
it was more like, instead of feeling forced, it was like they recognized what the original was and kind of were paying tribute to it.
Mm.
And that much I
Sure.
appreciated. So the
Mm.
second Coming to America, I really enjoyed.
I wouldn't be mad about that.
That's the first that came to mind.
Mm.
There's several terrible ones that I can think of,
Yeah.
for sure.
I'm thinking like the Ghostbusters movies, which are like
Mm-mm.
They were fun.
they're
The Paul Rudd ones?
Fine. They're fine.
Oh, are you
They're
kidding
not.
me?
They don't feel like Ghostbusters movies
I-
as
yeah.
sequels. They feel like
Teared
a
up
different.
at the Egon
I'm-
Ghost.
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
that
yeah,
was
yeah.
Fine, but they don't feel like Ghostbusters movies. They feel like a different franchise that just has all of the elements of the. I don't know. I don't know
Within
how to
the
explain
same
it.
universe of.
Yeah.
I thought the newest one felt more like an episode of the cartoon.
It definitely did. You're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I enjoyed them.
I remember liking the follow up to Train Spotting, but I don't remember anything about it.
I don't think I've ever seen the follow up to Train Spotting.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's-
that's one that same reason I purposely avoided. The first Train
right.
Spotting is a perfect
They
movie.
shouldn't have.
Yeah.
But I remember watching it going like, I'm satisfied with this.
Really? Huh?
Yeah.
Was there any
But I don't remember anything about it.
dead babies crawling on the ceiling in the second one?
I would remember that.
No. Yeah. Okay.
All right, let's start talking about your stuff. The rehabilitation of
We've done this 80 times. Can you tell?
What stuff?
the rehabilitation of Shanahan and the B pins. Give us like the high level. What have you guys been working on? Honestly, I don't know very much about it. So
Yeah,
bring me
definitely.
in.
So yeah, like I said, this all started years ago. You know, Adam Berkovic and I started fundraising for doing the A pin baskets and the B pins back at Superclass 2020. So it's been about 5 years now. And that's when everything started to come to fruition.
He does care.
Twice. That is twice.
It's happening.
And yeah, you know, it's just something, it's a course that we all love, have all loved. It was one of the first courses we all played. And that was actually the first time I started to meet everyone from what is now Team Link. Cody Schmook back in the day, haven't seen him much. He's still in our group.
No.
He'll pop in from time to time in our Facebook chat. But he asked me to join the team, and we all met up there and played around at Shanahan. And that was also the second course that I ever played. So it holds a special place in my heart as everyone else's too. So we just really wanted to kind of start adding to that course. So it's been the same forever, and it really didn't need much else, right? It's been a great course forever. Everyone's loved it. Frank, rest in peace, Frank, great guy, did so much to that course. When I started coming up in this area around like 2010, 2011, I would just see him out there all the time. Working on that course, planting flowers all over the place, trees, building the benches out there. And just seeing stuff like that over the years really inspired me to want to get more into that side of disc golf and not just out there playing and, you know, being competitive with my friends.
Giving back. We talk a lot
Hell yeah.
about that lately.
Mhm.
Yep.
Do you have a track of how much you have like fundraised since you started in 2020?
Yeah, so not crazy amounts, right? But I would say just for Shanahan itself, between Superclass 2023 and Disturbance at Dellwood, I believe we donated about exactly $3,000 to the J-Town Disc Golf Club. And that was just from 2 tournaments. And I would say, other than that, with the other Superclass events, it's got to be probably around like 5,000, maybe a little bit more than that. Which just from single events with having some people come out that are 50 to 60 people there,
Oh, it's killer.
is awesome.
Yeah.
Mhm. And those events are super fun. They're some of the ones I look forward to the most.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And that's our goal with those, right? It's just everyone come out, have a fun time. Doesn't have to be super serious. a layout that's fun for everyone, fun for all skill levels.
Mm-hmm. It's the same feeling I get when I go play the dog bowl. Like, if I
Yeah.
play good, cool. But I mean, I'm here because there's a good cause behind it. So
Definitely.
automatically, it's fun.
Totally.
Yeah, this was my first year playing the dog bowl. How? I have no idea, but I'll be back there every year. I mean,
Was it
it's for an
freezing this
amazing
year?
cause. No, the weather was great. Apparently, it was like
Yeah, it
the
was
best
good.
weather they've ever had for it.
Mhm.
Yep.
It has been the coldest I've ever been in my life. The last
Yeah.
2 times I played that event,
Yeah.
like
We have had bad weather at that event.
driving
Yeah.
home
That's
from that
March in
event,
Illinois.
you know, like
Yeah.
an hour drive, and I get home and my back is still freezing cold.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Get home, Liz touches my skin and she's like, Jesus Christ. And I'm like, it's been an hour and I'm still not warmed up yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we've we've been working out there on the B pins for a while. I would say for the past year at least. And like I said before, I mean, shout out to all the guys on Team Link. Kevin Makuba, Eric Bassett, Garb, Hopkins, Casey as well, Stilson, everyone on that group, Richard Walsh, Adam Berkovic, Brian Espinoza. If I'm forgetting someone, there's a lot of people there, and I'm sorry, but I think I said everyone.
Yeah. I think you got everybody.
But yeah, I mean, everyone, even if they haven't came out and physically helped on that course, they've all helped in a lot of
Mhm.
different ways out there. Especially Kevin, like I said, I mean, he'll I'll hit him up and we'll spend a couple hours out there after he's been working 8-9 hours already out there today.
Yeah.
Not on the course specifically working, but just doing labor work out on for the park
Yeah.
district. So it's
If
awesome to have a group of friends like that.
Yeah.
we go out there lately and don't see him like mowing or doing something, and then hear his goofy laugh, like it's
Yeah.
not a trip to Shanny. You know, so
yeah.
Yeah, he's been out there every single time.
It's
Can
awesome.
anybody do Makuba's laugh?
Oh, I don't think so.
I think so.
It's iconic.
It's so
It
good.
is, yeah.
Yeah.
One of a kind.
I wish there was an audio file of it somewhere we could drop in.
You'll next time you see him, you'll have to like get a little clip.
I'll call him later and then I'll just record it and I'll try to say
Yeah.
something
Yeah,
funny
do
to
it.
make him
Yeah,
laugh.
send
And
it. Send it to me.
it's- yeah.
Please.
I'll put it in the cold open.
That
yeah.
is the challenge.
I'll
Yeah.
record it on someone else's phone so my phone doesn't say this call is being recorded.
Yeah.
See? Smart. Smart.
Get him.
When you guys want to put in B pins or whatever work you want to do out there, do you just go to Makuba for approval, or how do you guys get the go ahead and kind of do what you want to
What
do?
a dangerous world that we would live in if we had to go to Makuba for approval.
Right?
Oh.
Right.
Makuba for approval. No, it's kind of like a team effort for sure, everyone's kind of had their own opinions on where we thought things should go, how things should look out there, and at the end of the day, definitely a big team consensus on it. And just kind of spend some time messing around saying, I think it'd be better here, maybe it'd be a little bit better if this was a flex line, but the majority of the new baskets really just trying to change it up completely, not just put a basket in and be like, oh, here, it's a little bit longer, right? If it's a turnover or Anheuser hole, let's make this one a
Yeah.
Heiser shot.
Yeah.
If
The classic
this-
mistakes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. Just kind of really switching it up out there.
Have you designed, do you have any course design experience before you started diving in on this?
No, that was definitely the first time. I mean, I've played a lot of courses, so I guess that could be some experience. Traveled all over the country.
Definitely counts.
Last year with those guys too, went to Smugs, Maple Hill. I've seen a lot of the best
Oh,
courses out there.
Apparently, he's been to Smuggler's Notch enough where it's
That he calls
it's
Smugs.
Smugs.
Yeah.
Once you're there
He's one of
once,
the
you can
dogs
call
now,
it
yeah.
Smugs,
All right,
you know?
all right.
You could leave the notch out of
Yeah.
it at that point.
I'll allow it. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I mean, even Garb Park, right? Like, I didn't have a whole lot to do with that at Garb's old place that he rented out in Burr Ridge. That was awesome. That was all those guys. That was Eric.
That was a
and Adam
fever
and Brian.
dream. None of that was
Truly,
real.
yeah.
I feel like it
It's-
didn't exist. Yeah,
Seriously.
it's its own little wonderland out there.
It
Yeah.
was.
But no, now I definitely have the itch for it for sure. I mean, if I was able to ever come up with a piece of land, I would love to design a full course.
Yeah.
It starts to take over, man. Like once you really dive into course design, I think that you almost start to love that aspect of the game more than playing the game, and it really creeps in and takes over like venom. You know what I mean? Like it just envelops you, and all of a sudden you find yourself, even when you're playing.
Yeah.
Like I went on Monday to play Shanny with Ed Radakovitz, and I was spending more time looking at all of your work than I was worried about playing, because I was so interested in see because I hadn't been out there since like around Shanny Classic time.
Yeah.
So it takes over. I really love course design.
Well, tell us more about the specifics of the B pins, like which ones and which ones are your favorites, and go.
Yeah. So all the B pins are going to be, I'll start with how many we have. So we're going to have hole 1, 2, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 17, 18.
Wow.
Yeah, so 11 different B-pin locations out there.
When do you guys kind of project that all of this will be done?
May 3rd is the install date,
shoot.
actually.
Awesome.
That we will be out there getting the sleeves in. So the areas are all marked. Kevin went out there, marked them. We actually brought around a portable basket, kind of played them, messed around with where we thought they should be. You know, we might move one or two, but for the most part, they are pretty much all ready to go in.
For listeners, that will be tomorrow.
Oh, right.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
And do we know what the first event that will be at the course where people will get to play these new positions?
Yeah, we will see possibly the smooth series. There's no promises yet. But depending if the baskets are in before that, because that's a weekend before. So there is a possibility that it could be that. If not, the potentially J-Town Singles Leagues, which I believe is on the 27th of May, which unfortunately, I'll be in Iceland for that, but I'll be in Iceland. So
You can't be too
I
mad.
missed that one.
Yeah.
But it is a possibility for the smooth series, so no promises yet. Steve knows that, but it'd be awesome if they're in enough time for people to at least get out there and practice for that.
Check
too.
them
We
out.
don't want to
Sure.
make it where
Yeah.
it's like,
Right.
oh, hey, their baskets are in on Friday. You guys never
Good
played
luck.
it. Have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, I want to get into that one.
I think the only one that I couldn't describe hole 11 to me. That was the only one that I played, and I don't recall seeing a flag in the ground anywhere.
So
What do you got
11
for 11?
would be the right side gap.
Oh, that's right.
So
That's
yeah,
right.
It's basically going to
I
be
caught
you're
it
gonna
once we were
need-
on 12. That's right.
you're gonna
Absolutely.
need
No
to
kidding.
Kind
Yeah.
of flip something
Yeah.
up a little bit. It's kind of like if you accidentally just release it
Yeah.
and you go down.
We've
that
all
way.
been where that beep is
yeah,
going to
for
go,
sure,
and
yeah.
we've hated it. Now we're
Yep.
going to like it if we're
Yeah.
playing to that beep.
And now, when
Yeah.
you want to throw to that one,
Yeah.
you might throw it to the eighth.
Exactly right.
That's how it
That's
goes.
right.
Just
Yeah.
leave a gap in the middle for the lefty.
Yeah.
Perfect.
To
You could just
hydrate
go
it.
around. You could throw it to the A, and just cover it through.
Huh.
Perfect.
Yeah.
We'll cut out a little window for you.
Thank
on
you.
that.
Hole
Yep.
2,
A
that's
little
an
plaque.
OG pin
Yes.
placement.
Yeah, I would say
Oh.
there's two that really stick out to me that are going to be my favorite, with two being the OG placement across the little creek that's right there that has just been flooded forever.
I'm so excited. that that's
Taken
going
over
back
by
in.
the beavers. And again, I mean, Kevin's been just loading in dirt over there trying to build that back up. And him and I spent probably 2.5, 3 hours out there one day. He was just bringing loads of dirt back and forth while I was kind of raking everything out and trying to bring that level up where it wouldn't flood as much over there. And I think we got it to the point where it's going to be okay. And it's just an iconic hole at Shanahan. There used to be a giant tree right there that made it even harder, but I still think it is a tough
Oh, it is.
hole nonetheless,
Oh,
because
yeah.
you can try to go for it with a forehand or
Oh, yeah.
backhand and end up in that creek right there and have a putt, maybe get a circle 3, maybe
Yeah.
take a 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Lefties
Right.
and then sidearms. We love that hole.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Wait, yeah. Now that it's a lefty hole, actually, you know what? Sorry,
Never
I don't
mind.
think we're gonna put it in.
Ah, no.
And I think another one, the first one that the guys all cut out was hole 10, just because it's going to be a really long hole. It's going to be about 420 feet to that basket.
Wow.
There's not just a dead straight or hyzer. It's going to have to be a kind of straight flip up shot, flex back a little bit back there. And we were originally thinking of maybe putting a couple different sleeves in back there. I think we settled on just keeping it in the spot where it is right now. It's kind of back into the left, where if you have a shot on the left side, you're going to bring that whole left side of the forest in. So it's going to be a really tricky, touchy, long par 3 on the course, which will be pretty fun.
Kind of love that you guys have so many different brains involved in evaluating these layouts, so you can kind of make sure there's something for everybody. Everything's been considered. You know, too many cooks in the kitchen is potentially a risk, but in this instance, it sounds like it's a good thing.
Oh, definitely, yeah. And it's not one of those things where we're just trying to make a course harder too, right? Some of the holes definitely are going to play harder. But just kind of want to make it to switch everything up, like I said, and just
A fresh
a
experience.
little fresh experience out there.
That's so good.
Looking forward to hole 12. That open area there
Yeah.
on the right has always been begging
Oh, yeah.
for a pin.
Yep.
And it is going to be perfect.
That's
We're
the
gonna
easiest one
have it.
because we didn't really have to do
Yeah.
anything for that one
Yeah.
either, right?
Yeah.
And
Oh,
you think it's going to be this like nice, easy flick, but it's that whole right side of the forest comes into play over
Oh,
there.
yeah.
And if you go in early, you're not going to have anything to
You're
get out
boned
over there.
for at best.
cool.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
the distance? Do you know? On the
on
B-pin?
that one, I don't remember on that one. What is that?
Okay.
It's
It's gonna
probably
be a
about
little-
the same like pin high distance,
Yeah.
but a little bit longer
back.
just because of that bend.
I can dig that.
I'm thinking like
Mm.
325-ish, I
Yeah.
bet. Something like that with the bend.
We can do that.
I can get there in 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or 3.
Yeah.
Hole 9, that was another one that stood out. I mean, hole
I
9
haven't
is
seen, but let me guess. It's going to be left side.
Yeah.
Yep.
Shorter.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because it's begging for it over there.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's got a cutout cove, not as far as the A-pin, obviously, but off to the left. So for righties, it'll be a backhand hyzer shot. Lefties, little turnover shot.
That's okay.
Backhand roller, something
Yeah.
kind of cool.
Gettable distance,
Get
though.
sexy with it.
Yeah.
But gettable distance for sure. And I
Cool.
think it'll be cool to see from the long tee too, the big arms trying to go for that hole, which is going to be a really big risk reward on there for sure.
Yeah. Awesome.
I would love to shift gears to presidential stuff. I don't know if everybody else feels the same way, but I don't care how everyone else feels.
Okay.
It is the most interesting aspect of what we're talking about today, in my opinion. And it's mostly because I don't really know what the politics of J-Town as a club really look like. Like, I don't know. Are you still the president, Sean?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. How does it work with like people getting nominated, people getting to like, taking these positions? Like, give us kind of a lay of the land of maybe, actually, Sean, maybe you can set the stage and then we can talk about what Mike's got going on.
Huh.
I mean, for the longest time when I moved here, it was just kind of a, I don't even know how to explain
it wasn't a 501c3 at that point.
Right.
Right.
Or
That's
3C,
relatively
whatever.
new.
Yeah.
So now that it has become a 501c3, we're doing it by the book and rotating every 2 years. 2 positions come up. And this year I had put in my 4 years and everybody was kind of like, you're still going to do it, right? Jason Poole was giving me a hard time. And I was like, no, I think that there should be limits. I had put in my 4 years. I said, I'm bowing out gracefully. It's been fun. I think I've done a good amount of work, but it's time to get some fresh blood in here.
Sure.
And, some guys are putting their names on the ballot. So
Yeah.
I'm looking
And
definitely
it's like a
looking for.
self-nominated thing. If you want to try and run, you can just, I want to run.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I mean, when I moved here, it was more of like a formality. Like there was no real drive for people to run.
Right.
It was just the same group of dudes and
Yep.
everyone else just played leagues and played tournaments and didn't. But now like people are involved.
Yeah.
And it's far more exciting because then
Yes.
we can
Yeah, a
see
lot
how
more
far it can
serious
go.
for sure.
Yeah.
Can we talk about what the roles are? What are the potentially like elected positions, and what are those roles like responsible for?
Right now, up for vote is president and
Member advocate.
member advocate. That's right. Yep.
Is that Bassett's role right now?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
And so is this the same thing where he's like, I did my time, I'm going to give up my position to the next person, or how did that happen?
So at the last meeting, he actually nominated me for member advocate originally. And I was like, yeah, sure. And then he also nominated Kevin Makuba. And then I had a message from Tim, I believe, that said someone nominated you for president. And would you like to decline the member advocate and run for president? And I said, yes, of course. So they are running. Kevin and Eric are both running for member advocate. So I had to flip a coin on that one because
Oh.
how do I vote for
Yeah.
like two of my best friends? you know?
Dog
Tough
number 1 or
call.
dog number 2?
That's a conflict of interest, I think.
Yeah.
We have like
You're
an
lining your
entire
cabinet
team
with your
link
cronies.
situation. Yeah.
Taking over.
I don't know.
You have a job that has a lot of leadership aspect to it in like your career.
Yeah.
So, how do you kind of think about what you're going to do as president? Like, what from your personal experience is going to kind of inform how you preside?
Yeah, definitely. That's a good question. Yeah, like in my work life, I definitely take my job seriously, and I always look at it as being a better leader than like what my previous bosses were, right? Taking what I can from them that they made me into the person I am, but then also just like improving upon that, So I kind of feel the same way about this, just like following in the footsteps of someone like Sean, and just kind of taking what he's done over the past couple of years and just trying to take it up to the next level. And definitely want to be doing that. The biggest things for me, obviously, are course improvements, right? And I would love to try to get park districts more involved with stuff like this too, right? Like we're starting to see it with Shanahan with little things here and there, with having them even just donate the concrete for these baskets, right? That's a big step forward for us, is to just be like, okay, even they're just willing to donate a couple dollars here and there for this. What more can they do? And kind of showing these places that it's more than just about a bunch of people going out there and playing for fun. Like, how many people can come in from out of town and travel from out of town and bring more money to the community by going to local restaurants, gas stations, whatever, right? Just by having improved courses in our area that people want to come and travel to and play in, right? It's more than just about the local community.
Thinking globally.
Yes.
Love it.
Zooming out.
Yeah. That's what a president should do, is have that high level view, right? That vision.
Yep.
I feel like we've heard that song and dance before. What actions are you going to put in place in order to make that happen?
This
and
just
not
became a debate.
say that you want it to happen.
Yeah. Are you talking about specifically with the park districts, you
For
mean?
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I would start attending, local board meetings, which is something totally new to me. I'm not going to lie and say I've done stuff like that before, but I would start attending things like that.
We'd find out if you're lying.
Yeah, I want to look at things like UDisc and see where all the amount of people are playing on these courses, right? Just to kind of come in there with data, showing things like that, showing, bringing in like the improvements we're doing with Shanahan, right? Show how much we are spending on this and the time we're putting in to do this, and that we're willing to work with park districts on this too. And I think going to those board meetings is a huge step, right? Like, if you don't go and make your voice heard on things like that, none of these places are going to know.
And feeding the information to them in a easily digestible way that meets them where they are. We've talked about that quite a bit, because it can be very, it can be lost in translation a little bit when you talk about the stuff that you really care about, but it's not necessarily in their language or on a plane that they care about. So thinking about, materials, I think you could bring to those meetings. I'm talking like, a little dorky stuff, but like presentations, like videos, PowerPoint, even just photos. So the work you guys are doing, getting photos, documenting some of that, that's going to speak so much louder than, just, you kind of telling people about it.
Yeah, so, definitely. And yeah, I mean, documenting it's huge. We've been trying to do that the whole way. Sometimes I'll forget to take the pictures beforehand, but then we always get the after pictures. We're so proud of it, how it looks,
Yeah.
But really, just really keeping all that stuff.
Yeah. I think to piggyback on both those ideas, Sheila and I just today, so we've got a new director of recreation at Lockport, Ben, and we just had our first meeting with Ben talking about some course improvement ideas that we have for the canyons. And I think that, I love going to the board meetings, but I think getting them out of those board meetings and getting them onto the courses is a really big thing. I think that we're not doing that enough as a disc golf community. We're thinking that we constantly have to go to them. I think we need to bring them to us and really show them what's happening at these work days. And, when they're there, maybe not just even photos. I think that's the way that we need to start kind of approaching these things too.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, actually. Just seeing the community in action, seeing the actions like that will speak way more than pictures will when they're out there actually seeing. That.
I mean, I got to show Ben my passion for course design today, talking about these things. I mean, he was kind of blown away. He was like, people want this? And I was like, oh yeah, people want this. And we started off the meeting with Sheila printing off all the stats from UDisc. One of the most important ones was showing him that the majority of players that have been coming out are from within less than 10 miles away. That's really what they want to see at a park district level, because park district budgets are built on taxpayer dollars from within that
community.
That community. So, we love to show them that people are coming from New York and Alabama and all this stuff, but, to show them that most people are coming from within less than 10 miles was
benefiting our
population.
Yeah,
it was huge.
Back and back over and over.
Exactly. Yep. And that stuff, I mean, utilize UDisc as much as you can with moving forward with the position, because, I mean, it's there. They're doing all the work for us, and you just print or send,
I don't know if this idea has any real teeth, but I kind of like the idea of coordinating like team building type events for the people who work in the park district. So like they do these things in one way or another. Why not have the option of saying, hey, do you want to get all of your team out for a doubles round at the disc golf course? They can all participate in some of the facilities that you guys have, and get a sense of like, what is this all about?
Do you mean the Park District Pro-Am?
Is that already?
No, but I just thought of that off the top of my head just now.
I like it's got a good ring.
That'd be fun.
That should be a thing.
Yeah,
I mean, Easily doable.
Yeah, partner up the Park District people with local players.
Yes.
Good ambassadors for the
Yes.
sport.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good idea.
Nobody. Who's running against you right now? By the way, for president, do you know?
Jared Gardner and
Jared Gardner.
Mike Frieselben.
Freisleben.
There we go.
Freisleben.
Edit that out.
Yeah.
And Mike Freisleben.
Mike and Jared,
Yeah.
don't steal these ideas.
Yeah.
What is the like competition like? I mean, is there any amount of like you putting your ideas forward and them putting their ideas forward? Like, what are people basing their votes on? What do you like? What do we
It's
assume
still
about that?
fairly informal. I think all three of these guys would do a great job, but it's still based on just casting votes. Knowing who these people are. There's no forum. I mean, except right now,
Tim did a Facebook post where everybody was, they put those
I did
graphics
enjoy
together. That
Yep.
was a lot. That was the first time I'd ever seen anything
Yeah, I
like
thought that
that
was
for J-Town. So I
Mhm.
love that Tim is taking action with ideas like that because it is important. And we are utilizing tools like social media to get the word out. I think that, we're seeing a little bit of concern within the community where people are worried about where and how they can vote. And Tim is doing a fantastic job of putting up those Facebook posts, albeit it is Facebook. And if you don't have it, you don't know. But I have always thought of it as if you're not on Facebook looking for the information, well, then that's your problem. Like it is there and it is available.
Yeah.
I think he's kicking ass with that, though.
The community.
Yeah. Yeah. So I really like that they did, everybody got to say their little piece and put in their little 2 cents of what they were going to be able to do with the position. So,
Yeah, I think that was great. And with, being able to vote too, like you said, I think it is important that it's more than just being able to do it at Tuesday leagues, right? Like I know they're doing it at Trinity leagues right now too. That's awesome. There should be other ways to do this than, hey, you get this one day a week to potentially come out that you might not be able to make it to. And I know there even now you can purchase a tag, Zelle them the money, PayPal them the money, and then just email your votes in that way too.
Right.
Good to know.
You can also come out to the Pack the Place event that is happening at Lock and Mule on Wednesday the 30th. So by the time this airs, that'll have already happened, right?
Yes,
next
sir.
Wednesday.
Yep.
Shoot. Well, anyway, hopefully you were there.
Game on.
Well, on the subject of other people who are running, do you have any idea of like their platforms? Like, is there any distinguishing thing between the three of you in terms of like beliefs, or is it primarily just who you know and who you like, and that's who people are going to vote for?
Yeah.
Like how the president of the United States becomes president of the
Yeah,
United States.
just exactly like that, right?
It's who you know.
Yeah,
and
there's
who
an
likes you.
electoral college.
Each zip code gets this many.
Right.
Yeah.
But in
local
disc golf,
club.
it's the electoral college.
Hey.
Got him.
Basically, just from the post that Tim made with all of our stuff in there, right? I feel like it all seems pretty similar, just maybe us saying it in different ways, right? And I know Mike is huge with the youth club that he has out at Homer, which I think is great, right?
Heritage
I think
Park.
what he's doing
Yeah.
with that is amazing out there.
Yeah.
We need to get more kids into the sport. So someone stepping up for the club like that and really kind of going all out there, donating bags and discs for all these kids to bring more youth into it, I think is awesome. And, that's something huge that he's doing. And then obviously Jared, he's been helping out at Trinity a bunch, with all those guys over there too. So, but yeah, I think kind of all on the same page, just really bringing course improvements around, trying to work with the park districts more. I also mentioned kind of stuff with youth clubs. And then something else I would like to do too, as like a perk of the club, I think would be something cool of having, maybe different like top pros coming out and helping do some clinics as a perk of the club, right? Like you're a club member, someone comes out and we have a putting clinic one day, whether that's on a weekend or it's after leagues, before leagues, something like that. Another one come out and do a driving clinic. And even if that's something that we have to pay for, like those guys, should be able to pay them for that,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, you have to.
Support their tour out there.
Yeah.
And I'd love to see something like that with the club too.
If you want to pay me to come out and
Yeah.
give you guys
Show
some clinics,
Lefty, for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. Just let me know. Yeah. Uh-huh.
This is how you throw 330 feet.
Yeah.
Watch.
What I'm excited about is that all three of you seem excited about it.
Oh yeah.
And because I had been to J-Town club meetings when I first moved here, and it was it was informal, but it was very matter of fact, and I don't feel as though anything had ever gotten done. It felt very sterile and like
steeped in frustration
and very to phrase the, what is the word for that?
Erectoral?
No. The a popular phrase, like very filibustery, right? So like there was a lot of talk just to like move things along without actually making any decisions. And so that was frustrating, and I just stopped kind of going because I had the same ambitions that you guys have, but I didn't see any way to display that or, voice an opinion. And so I just kind of dropped that for a while, but it's super exciting to see what is happening now and what is about to happen.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean, I was even a member advocate back in 2016, I think it was. And even then it was still immensely more informal than it is now.
Mhm.
Like I would say once Doc and I came in as president and vice president, and then we talked about, making it more formal. I think that's where we're really starting. I got to shout out Jason Poole. I don't think that Jason Poole gets enough credit. People know that name, but they maybe don't know him, and he's not the loudest guy in the room, but he is definitely the glue that keeps that concept all together. I think that without him, we would maybe see what we've referred to as too many cooks in the kitchen. Like he's keeping it more structured, which I love.
Yeah.
And I got to give him a credit and shout out on that. He's definitely kept it all together for sure. Him and Tim Kelson as well. I think Tim has become a really fun voice in J-Town, especially on Facebook. He's kind of laid off a little bit. I think he needs to lean back into that because he is so much more funny than he realizes.
Oh yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and just to mention on the meetings too, I'm sure most people know, but like if you are a club member, you can come to those meetings. This isn't just a closed thing, right? So if you have things that you would like to see improved in the area, any ideas that you have, come on out to these meetings.
Yeah.
They're usually posted whenever they're happening. Come on out on that Monday, right?
Yeah. Second Monday of every other month. Yeah.
Yeah, come on out and just voice your opinions. It's you're going to be heard a lot more than if you're just kind of, talking through the grapevine to other people. So.
And it does happen. Like, I mean, we've got guys like Caleb Hasselbring coming out and bringing up ideas for Highland, and Dan Peterson coming out and voicing his opinions on the things that he thinks we need. I mean, it's great. Like, it really does feel like an open forum at the meetings. I really love that idea. So I'm looking forward to that continuing to grow.
Yeah.
It's terrific. We can cut this if the question is too much, but I think the best presidential candidates, and I'm talking about president, like U.S. president, they talk about the things that they are for rather than like all the things they're against. But talking about the things that you're against is what tends to ignite people a little bit more. Do you have any specific things that you're like, I want to see less of this if I'm president?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that kind of goes with what I'm just kind of mentioned, right? I hear a lot of people talking about like, oh, well, why isn't this getting done? We need a new handrail here. We need this. We need that. But then not more so saying these things without like coming up with ways or ideas on how to do this, right? And almost like comes off kind of as like bashing towards the club, right? Like, well, like, what are you guys even doing? Are you doing things like this to take care of these courses?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you could do that in a more constructive criticism way by coming out to these meetings and voicing your opinion and saying, hey, we want to, run this tournament, we think, so we can build a handrail here for this. I think things like that, people just not saying it in more of like a rude way, I guess, right? Just having an idea instead of like bashing a club because they don't think they're doing what they should be in that person's eyes.
Right.
A more productive suggestion, like, here's what I think should happen, and
here's
here's
how
a
we
way I
should
think
do
we
it.
could do it.
Yeah.
And come out to the meetings.
And come out to the
if
meetings.
It is important to you, then come out to the meetings and talk about it because it is being discussed.
Yeah.
Handrails at Highland was a topic for months, and then we did it. That was a thing. So yeah, more people that have those opinions in the comments, and to your point, it's ugly. We see it all the time. Anytime we're asking the community to voice those opinions. We see a lot of ugly. And I think that those people need to just understand that it isn't us and them. It is one whole community. And your opinion is just as important as anybody else's. So come out to those meetings and be a part of the movement and the positivity.
I think I saw something about being married, and it was never when there's an issue, you against your spouse. It's always you and your spouse against the problem.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the same thing. Like, it's the community against the issues that they see, not the community against other members of the community.
Yeah.
Right.
Or, you know, what some members of the community are seeing some other groups or clubs doing. It's all of us together trying to improve, make disc golf great again, is what I'm trying to say.
You son of a bitch. Maja.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I half threw up in my mouth when I said that.
You are forbidden
Yeah.
from making red hats.
Yeah.
with Maja on it.
That's my favorite color.
All right. I think we covered presidential stuff pretty thoroughly. Let's talk a little bit about your sort of signature tournaments. Superclass Sunday and Disturbance at Delwood, which is now, this will be the second year or third year that you're going to do it?
Yeah, so this will be the 5th year for Superclass Sunday and the 2nd year for Disturbance at Delwood.
So for people who have no idea what these events are, give us what are they? Why are they cool?
Yeah, so start with Superclass Sunday, which is the one we've been doing the longest. That was something that was started by myself and Adam Berkovic in 2018. Sean actually helped us start that up. And it was, sponsored by Delwood Disc Golf, kind of helped us get going with that, purchased all the discs for us. That was our first time doing this. We didn't know how to do anything with it, right? So he kind of helped us out, created the disc golf scene for us, really led along the way. And that whole tournament stemmed from something we called Zephyrs of America, which was a league back in 2014 and 2015 that Adam and I ran, that we had maybe 5-6 people come to if we were lucky.
Of America.
Yeah. So if people don't know what a Zephyr is, it's like an ultimate type disc. It's made by Innova Discs. Has a thumb track on top, kind of like not a pig or something like that, though, like a birdie, if you know what that is.
A really big birdie.
A really big birdie. A lid type disc that can weigh up to 200 grams.
Hence the name Superclass.
Yes. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a thing. Superclass was a thing way back in the day, like around 2009. There was a huge thing. I think they were even doing Superclass ratings, and there was a big Superclass. I forget what they called it. It was a invitational thing at Lemon Lake. That I don't know if it was like a Superclass World Championships or what it was. They had it on the white course out there, I know. And we originally got a Zephyr at 2014 Homie at Lemon Lake, and just kind of started playing with everyone. And after the round, the one day we went out onto the white course out there and just played a Zephyr only round. And it just became this thing that Adam and I thought it would be cool to start a league up. So we actually worked with Paragon Disc Golf back in the day, got some bag tags for it, and had a bunch of people come out back in the day. Eichhorst was there for all of them. And we would travel around to all the local courses. Like I said, have 5 or 6 people. I think Shorewood, we had 30 people come out the one day. It was the most that we had, and every other week was really small.
Shorewood's a perfect course for that.
Perfect course for it, yeah. A couple of the courses are, right? That course, West Park is really good. Delwood Red Tees would be good for it. Haynes, especially like the original 18 hole at Haynes too. But it's just fun. They fly like totally different discs. You cannot throw it like a regular disc golf disc, or it's not going to go anywhere. It's going to turn into a roller, roll on the ground.
So you gotta be smooth with it.
Have to be smooth with it and finesse with it. And that was kind of where Superclass started from. So it's a 2-round tournament. It's always at Trinity is where we've held it. We like adding a really fun element to it with having wavy guys, in front of all the holes. I'll have a couple different things out there from Go Brewing this year, which are big inflatables. I'm not going to say what they are, but there will be a Go Brewing hole out there.
Nice.
Cool.
Just having a lot of different fun elements to it. Also shortening the course down.
Snortening
The course.
Got him.
Shortening the course down to about 150 to 230 foot holes. I think the average each year is about 177 feet. So our thought with that is like, if you play disc golf, most likely you're going to be able to throw one of these things 150 to 170 feet.
Sure.
Which is why we've always kind of done it as just a one general division in the past. Last year we did open up a women's division that I believe there was 4 or 5 women that came out and played. I believe Casey took that down. Shout out to her.
That sounds right.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds about right, right? And yeah, it's just a really fun time. And it's everyone that's played it has said nothing but good things about it. And our events are always fundraisers first and foremost, right? So if you're playing these events, they're trophy only. All the money is going straight to the fundraising, 100% of it.
Mhm.
We're very transparent about with all that money and where it's going. Obviously, a little bit of it is going to pay for the players packs and things like that. But other than that, it's all going to the fundraising itself, which has always been out of these tournaments for the Mach 7s that went into Trinity years ago. And when was that, 2019 or so? I think around then.
2020?
2020 maybe,
Yeah.
sometime around then. Just a small amount that was raised for some of those. The Shanahan A pins that went in 2 years ago now, I think.
Mhm.
And then for the B pin baskets that are up and coming.
It's such a good change of pace. It's a tournament I look forward to all the time, and I firmly believe that one day I'll win it.
You
I
will.
know
Maybe in a unicorn.
I forgot I had to
suit,
do that.
you know,
That was
that
the
was the
event.
Servants at Dulwood, right? But
That was the
Oh, yeah.
glitch only event. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's our thing, right? Like I said, it's more about taking that competitiveness out and seriousness of sanctioned rounds and just coming out, having fun with your friends. We usually have a free lunch out there for everyone. We'll have some non-alcoholic beer out there for people that don't drink, have kegs of beer for people that do want to partake, 21 plus, and drink.
Yep. Yeah. Jason, I feel like that's one of these, either the glitch or the Superclass event, could be one that you might really enjoy.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can throw 100 feet.
I can throw 100 feet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Perfect.
Yeah.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, and you don't have to you don't need to power these discs. It's really just like
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can't.
you don't
Frisbee.
want to power.
Yeah.
them.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, some
Super-
people get mad at us because we have Adam and I and a couple other people have some star and premium type plastic ones.
Yeah.
Like, this is not fair. And that's why we were kind of bugging Innova forever to make more Zephyrs, specifically Halo, which they eventually came out with. And we kind of like to take credit for that. I highly doubt it had anything to do with that, but maybe. you
So
know.
at Superclass, I thought you had to use the disc that you were given in your player's pack, but you could bring any Zephyr.
Yes, yeah, and other Superclass discs.
Yeah,
So on the disc
Oh,
golf
right.
scene page, I'll
Yeah.
post a link to a PDGA site that shows what Superclass discs are. Because some people think they'll think, oh, a Condor, right? This is Superclass just because it's a large diameter. That is not considered Superclass. It's more like a large rock almost. That would be super
Mhm.
unfair because you could throw that thing way farther.
Right.
So there's a couple people that'll bring stuff there, and I'll tell them, hey, sorry, you can't do this one.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I would say the Zephyr is probably the best disc for it.
What
It
are,
is.
what are another couple Superclass discs
There's
that you could
I
use?
think it's the T Moco is one, I believe, from RPM.
The
And
Ultra
then,
Star, right?
Yeah, obviously things like the
Ultra
Ultra
Star.
Star as well.
I brought that out for the Superclass Sunday thinking I'm going to dominate with this disc because I can throw an Ultimate disc really well.
Oh, I have
And-
so many of those.
And then as soon as I tried throwing it compared to the Zephyr, and I was like,
Uh-uh.
no, the Zephyr is
uh-uh.
definitely the way to
It
go.
leaves your hands, and then you realize that the disc is the size of the gap, and
Oh,
you're like,
yeah.
oh!
Yep. Not gonna fit. There is one called the Supernova. It's kind of
yeah.
like an Ultra Star. It flies a little bit more stable though. I do bag that one for it. I don't know. I like to have it in there. I'll throw it on a couple, but then I always just go back to the Zephyr.
Do you keep a Zephyr in your main bag?
No, because it doesn't fit.
That's
If
my
it-
problem. I keep it in
if
my
it
bag,
did,
but it
I
has
probably
to.
would. Yeah,
I
when I
keep
had
it
a
in, the
latitude
top
bag.
pouch.
Yep, when I had a latitude bag, I kept it in the top.
Yeah.
And people always joke. They're like, every time after the tournament, they're like, you should just putt with this thing. Why do you not putt with it?
Mm-mm.
One of the years it was Twan and I. We went in an 8-hole playoff at Trinity from holes 1 through hole 8, where I ended up taking that down and winning. And I was draining 40-foot putts.
Oh.
Specifically hole 2. There's a video. You could hear Jared in the background scream. He's like, "Made that with a Zephyr?" It was like a 40, 45 foot
putt with
putt.
them.
Just drained it on that hanging basket to keep pushing up through 8 holes. It was,
So
it was
fun.
awesome.
Online, I found a PDGA approved Superclass discs, but it's from February 19th of 2009,
Yes, yeah.
and Whammo is listed on here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Whammo, the Whammo I know,
Oh, yeah.
makes disc golf discs.
Whammo is like a huge cog in the machine of disc golf being disc golf.
Completely unaware of that.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, now that you're saying that, but it wasn't until I looked at it and I was like, Whammo?
Yeah.
Like, don't they make hula hoops?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Mhm.
Wow.
I
So
think
it-
Steady Ed Hedrick worked for Whammo before he broke off and started doing his own thing.
No
I
kidding.
think. Yeah.
Wow.
Are both events coming back this year?
Yes, both events will be coming back this year. So I don't have a date set for Disturbance at Delwood yet, but Superclass Sunday will be September 7th at Trinity Links. That is a Sunday, obviously. And that will
That
be
would
2
be
rounds.
wild.
Yeah, it's actually a Thursday.
Yeah.
Glow.
Superclass Sunday on Thursday.
But yeah, it's going to be a 2-round event. Like I said, we'll have some beer out there, some non-alcoholic beer, lunch for everyone. We'll have 21 holes set up that are all shortened out there. So that one definitely is set. The disc golf scene page is made and we'll be going live June 5th, I believe is the date that I have set. So I'll be posting that on the Greater Joliet page. And then Disturbance at Delwood, to get into that one, that was just an idea that I had after throwing a glitch the first time. Honestly, I love touchy, flippy putters, which it's really not even flippy. It will hold any line. It'll hold a hyzer. It'll go straight. It'll turn over. And I just love throwing that disc so much that I thought it would be cool to do a 1 disc event at Delwood on the red tees there. I think that was perfect course for that disc.
And that'll be held at West Park, Disturbance at Delwood.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Good. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it was that actually blew my mind. So I had that idea. The stamp is still, I mean, I love the Superclass.
The
it's so
artwork
awesome.
is so cool.
Super retro, and that's why we've just kept it. But the guy that did the
Superclass one.
artwork for Disturbance at Delwood is the guy that does the artwork for our cans at Go Brewing. And he also disc golfs. I asked him,
sick.
like, hey, would you be interested
It's
in
so
doing
cool.
this? I can't pay you, but like I can give you a couple of the discs. And he was like, I've been wanting to do that. It's like a dream of mine since I got into disc golf was to design my own artwork. And it was basically, I told him I wanted something that looked kind of like Matrix glitch type theme with hole 18, just an iconic hole there with the bridge, basket in the background. And his name's Dan, and he just absolutely crushed that.
You did
really
reach
cool.
out to me at one point and asked, and I was like, I couldn't possibly do it justice.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad you went with that, dude, because it is perfect.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
What
And,
you did for Superclass, though, is one of my favorite things that you have done.
Oh, very
That
retro
logo is
80s
awesome.
Mexican.
The way that those
style.
letters line up and everything.
Oh, yeah.
And that's
So
why I
good,
always
yeah.
even Ryan asked me this year, like, what do you want to do? Do you want to change it? And I was like, maybe this. Maybe we put like the skyline in the background from Trinity. And I was like, you know what? No, why even change it? Right?
Yeah,
It's
we
just
can't.
so iconic.
It's
at this,
iconic.
and it's very fitting.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, Disturbance at Delwood. So it blew my mind because I was like, all right, I'm gonna purchase 90 of these. I'm gonna get stuck with a bunch of glitches, and it is what it is. It's cool. I love this disc. I'm sure I'll sell them. It's a fundraiser again, so whatever. And I went live on Disc Golf Scene on a Monday, I believe, and by Friday it was sold out. And I was
Awesome.
trying to have people, they were messaging me asking about a wait list, and I had already ordered the discs at that point. I had no idea that 90 people were going to sign up for a glitch only event. Like that just blew my mind.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping the same thing will happen again. Yeah. New Superclass logo this year. Sweet. But yeah, I'm gonna probably get some more this year. I'm gonna try to get maybe, we'll see what I can max out there with some tee times, but over 100, if I can get 120 out there in a flex, that'd be really cool. Hopefully there's
It's a flex style?
Yeah, so we'll do so it'll be a flex, but basically like sign up, right? So I'm gonna have tee time set up. Probably, we'll start it early to see if people want to come out there and start at like 7:00 and then just go through the end of the day as long as we can.
Sure.
But I would love if we can get like 120 people out there for that. I think it would be really cool.
Heck yeah.
120 chumps for me to smack around.
And 1 unicorn.
Oh, never again. Listeners, if you've never done a Superclass, if you've never thrown one or done an event that's like 1 disc only, it's a totally different vibe. Definitely check it out.
Mhm.
And I think the barrier of entry, like, you don't need to be a super competitive player to do well and have a lot of fun. So also a good way to, if you have any other people in your life that are on the fence and kind of interested in disc golf, bring them out to something like that. Like,
Dude, it's
Fun
such
stuff.
a great
Yeah.
social event just to bring disc golf into like the lunch and the beer and like the vibe that you would want at disc golf, when sometimes you miss that being competitive. And especially like a tea time thing also that we keep saying is like, tea times have been great. We're maximizing the people, but you also don't get the group setting like you do with these events, and that makes it all worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
couldn't
totally
agree more.
agree with that.
Yeah.
I think we've covered the gamut, unless there's anything else you want to make sure we spend a little time on, Mike.
No, I think that was covered everything.
All right. Okay. So that is a wrap on the junk in the trunk for this episode. which means, Jason, are you ready?
Is it time for the trivia portion of the night?
The motherfucking trivia portion of the night.
Yes, sir. Let's get
right.
into it.
You sounded a little bit like Scooby Doo.
Yeah, he did.
Raggy.
Raggy.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.